Some women are simply born rich, confident, and naturally magnetic to their desires. Let's be clear, this podcast is not for them. However, if you're a soul-driven, visionary, or entrepreneurial woman who's been on a mission to learn how to create a better future bursting to come out of you, welcome to my world. I'm Warwick, and this is Rich, Sexy, and Free. I've dedicated most of my career to helping women get to their core power and unlock the missing pieces for their own unique success. You may already know me as the author of the Big Book of Love. With 30 years experience in psychology, embodiment, manifesting, and energetics, we will be exploring together and with guests all things mindset, self-expression, and richer flow of money and love in your life. The keys to becoming rich, sexy, and free. So if this excites you, don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite platforms so you can stay up to date with the podcast. Welcome to this intimate session of Rich, Sexy, and Free. I'm not one to jump on the bandwagon. You won't see me posting about certain holidays and taking advantage of those things. However, I do feel deeply called to talk about the dark as it is Halloween as I am recording this. This period around Halloween has a much greater, deeper importance as we look at the shift between the light. Now, a lot of us are taught, of course, to focus on the positive and think positive thoughts and look towards the light. And absolutely, that is important. However, there's also this idea of spiritual bypass, which means to only focus there. I'm not talking about that either, but understanding the importance at looking at the whole. When you know that the moon is in its fullness, you see a whole moon, but you still don't see the dark side of the moon. The planet itself, of course, has a dark side, the same as us. We can be so afraid of the dark. And Halloween itself, if you think about all the horror movies and all the idea of ghouls and witches and the devil and all of that, is the human element of us that has tried to make sense of the dark side of our own character, the shadow side, as it gets called in psychotherapy. Disregarding of the dark part of ourselves doesn't enable us to claim our power. And that's what I'm interested in. Having the full capacity of your energy is which makes you rich, sexy, and free. It makes you magnetic, means that we have to embrace the dark. Now, I am a Scorpio, and a Scorpio is known for loving and diving into the mystical and the unseen. And that's what it means with the dark. It doesn't mean that it's scary, terrorizing, and that it's evil. There is just an absence or a seeming absence of light somewhere, whether it's under the ocean, it seems darker. When we have nighttime, it is darker. But what it really is about is the darkness within us, those unseen elements of ourselves and the unseen of the other dimensions that we are aware of. That tingly feeling, or maybe you have heightened senses like me, where you're able to be aware of people who have what we seem as crossover, or maybe it's the idea of ghosts, maybe it's the idea of quantum leaping into a different dimension. If we come from the quantum field, we would understand that there are infinite universes that are playing out in the same now as us. And then they have these different frequencies. That's what we talk about in manifesting. What frequency are you on? So when we don't claim what we think is the unseen, the dark, we're actually disregarding, like the moon, half of ourselves because we're afraid to go within. I know that. I get that. This has come to the forefront because I have been definitely going through a dive. Now, in my work, I have a method called the quantum love loop. You add first. You always add abundance. You add love. You fill up. You add all the good stuff. And that naturally brings the dark to the forefront. It brings it into the light because your body And your energy is designed to work just like a splinter in working out what does not serve you anymore out of your body. So you don't have to dig around. The same as if you had a boil or pimple, it's about bringing it out to the surface. However, there are times when we have created too much resistance for that coming to the surface easily. So it can take time. Now, I have been on a bit of a deep dive because I've wanted to clear out the cupboards. I felt like I really needed to go deeper than I've done before into something in my body. So I've just posted a video about it on Instagram about colonic hydrotherapy. Now, this is a way of me physically going into the unseen in my body and removing toxins, shit, emotional shit that has been buried within my colon, within my digestive system. And it has been unbelievably purging, cleansing, uplifting. But in that process, of course, I've had to wade through the dark. I've had to wade through the shit, the unseen. 3 sessions, I'm starting to feel amazing. I feel much better. My body's very happy and on the way up. We can do these processes of looking at the dark in short, bite-sized pieces, or we can go through what's called the awakening, which more of a soul contract and does not feel short. So it's better to learn processes that help you to deal with your own inner darkness. The greatest fears that we have within that darkness is that we are killers, the animal part of us, that we have the capacity. Of course we do. We are animals. Our bodies have that. We have this energy when tamed to be protective, because anybody who goes, no, if they have children, how far would they go to protect their children? We are all lionesses and lions. So knowing that's within us, that is one darkness. The other is that deeply down, we don't believe we're worthy. We don't believe we're good enough. This isn't anything to do with the universe. Again, it's programming. It's shit. It's stuff that is coming out from being a child, from, it can be past life or it can be this life. In my journey, by doing the colonic hydrotherapy, I have absolutely, again, had to face where I don't believe I am good enough to be at the level I want to be at, or the space I want to be at, or the life that I dream of. I, again, have had to face my own inner belief where I don't matter. And I was able to feel and express from ages of being 7, where I had put up a defense, or when I was 10 and I put up another defense. And at one point it was towards the masculine, another point is towards the feminine. These are woundings that I had put into my bowel, into my stomach, into the dark part of my body, so that I'd hidden it under the stairs, into the cupboard, into the dark. And if I pushed it further enough back, I wouldn't have to deal with the resentment, the sadness, the heartbreak, the disappointment of feeling let down, of feeling abandoned, of feeling unseen and unheard. We all have these spaces, but it doesn't mean we have to stay there. So this owning of the darkness, our own ghouls, facing our own inner devils, and facing the inner thoughts that are always coming from our body, sets us free. Because when we bring it to the light, when we allow it to come out by willing to go there and be held in that space and being activated in that space, we rise up. Like a witch on her broomstick, we start to rise. We start to claim our power. We start to claim disregarded parts of ourselves. We also claim back our energy from people and places and experiences that are in different timelines, in different dimensions, or different parts of ourselves we've left around. We can begin to reclaim from the dark and bring into the light. Because the dark doesn't have to be scary. It is uncomfortable, but it is not devastating. It's unpleasant for a moment, but it gets lighter. That's the point of having support and having love and having guidance and being held, to allow us to come into the frequency of abundance. And that is the key of Rich, Sexy and Free. You want to come into the frequency of abundance, which is why I am running on 11/11. If you haven't checked it out, head on over to richsexyandfree.com 11:11, I am hosting an abundance healing and activation circle. I do a lot with activating the nervous system and aligning your mind, body, and energy with your soul to come into this abundance frequency and to bring those hidden, unseen things within you that are creating hindrances to your abundance into the light. And that's where you want to be, because then once it's in the light, it's in your control. When it's not in the light, it is controlling you. It is manifesting and attracting and creating things in your life to make you look at the mirror. That's all that happens. It brings in stuff until eventually you will look in the mirror that is your life and turn inwards to see into the dark. And once you've been there for a while, you can get very comfortable of going, this is okay. This is okay. I don't want to live here. But it's just a space. And it's not evil or bad. It is what seems like the absence of light, but it is not. It is still light. It is still energy and power, but it is energy and power that has become stagnated. It is energy and power that is waiting. It's become dormant, and it's your job to claim that back from the light and become the magical being that you are. Because if nothing else is in this Halloween, the vibe between the worlds is very thin. The energy of what is available to us in the fullness of ourselves, of our soul, is available to us. And in this period of seasons, wherever you are in your own personal seasons or in the physical season, there is always an opportunity to go into the dark with courage, with light, and to walk through it, to face it. And you'll realize it just gets quicker and quicker. As a woman, you have your menstrual cycle, which can still be there after the menopause. I am after the menopause and it's still there. We have these natural cycles where we come into heightened external energy, which is like the tide coming into the world. And then we have these moments of the darkness where we come and retreat within to ourselves. The tide comes in to us. So we're going out and we're coming in. That energy is about going out into the world, and then it's about coming in. And in that cycle, that replenishment of ourselves is to connect with the unseen, connect with our intuition, connect with our power, connect with our control, connect with our insights, connect with our magic, connect with our feminine power and all the parts of ourselves that knows and connects to our soul, the insights to the greater energy of source, divine, God, universe, to the unseen externally. And it's that opportunity to go deeper into who you are and then bring that power forward into your life. Just like the tides, just like the moon, that's what we're designed to do. And it's such a beautiful space. There can be great mystery, sexual power, magnetism, gloriousness around the dark, which is why Lilith, who was in the Bible is considered as Adam's first wife, but in goddess terms and in other historical writings, the point of Lilith to show that a woman, her darkness, her insights, her power comes from standing into her eye matter. And it is that dark feminine that is just as important to bring forward, whether you want to call her a witch or convert her into a bitch, whether you want to see her as the dark goddess, whether you want to see her as this potent, powerful lioness. I truly believe she holds your sexual energy, your wild nature. I truly believe that she holds the power to your magnetism to come into balance of all parts of yourself. When we don't own or use or ride with the dark within us, the power within us, with faith and trust, knowing that it is not evil or bad, it is our whole nature, we can bring that light and love through it, claim it, own it, and make us into a whole powerful being. Because then you can use it with your heart and create the life that you want and be of service in the way you want. But we have to face that fear that if I claim and go into the dark, I will become dark. I will become evil. I will become bad. And yet that is all of that conditioning and social conditioning and programming of many, many generations where we have disregarded the feminine and tried to separate the feminine from her power. All of that is what shaming and blaming and Salem and witch trials and all of those things were about. They're all about disconnecting the feminine from her power. And we're not about that here in Rich, Sexy and Free. We're all about abundance. So if this is resonating physically, maybe it's resonating with your soul, maybe it's resonating and activating you on some levels, I highly invite you to come and join us for the 11/11 Abundance Healing Activation Circle, the She Matters Circle, because you do matter. The fullness of you matters. Your femininity matters. The full power and gamut and control and power of your feminine matters. And you coming into your abundance frequency through that. So it's going to be very special. It's 2 hours of deep diving. This isn't a masterclass. This isn't a training. This is surrendering. Think of it like going to a retreat or a spa for your soul and your body and your mind, and experiencing a true activation as though you were going to a physical retreat. So there will be movement and there will be energy and there'll be connection and conversation. So I'm very excited and I look forward to you being there. So this has been a very special conversation. It has weaved very much around the energy of the dark. And I look forward to hearing from you. You can always find me at Rich, Sexy and Free at LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. It's been great to connect with you today. If you want to find out more about how I can help you personally, or check out any of my books, products, or coaching packages, just simply go ahead and visit richsexyandfree.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the podcast.